Let's get one thing clear. Avoidants don't come back with flowers and apologies. They don't knock on your door in the rain. They don't send long texts confessing their love. Avoidants move in silence. But their silence doesn't mean detachment. And their distance doesn't mean that they're really moving on. So how do you know that they're missing you? How do you know that the person who pushed you away is now thinking about you all the time, tearing their hair out at the thought of losing you for good? Well, let me tell you. Because when someone who runs from intimacy begins to miss you, they may stay quiet, but their behavior speaks louder than their words ever could. When someone with avoidant tendencies starts to miss you, it rarely comes out in a clean, honest confession. It usually just shows up indirectly through behavior. Now, avoidance is not a lack of emotion. It's an inability to handle emotion without feeling overwhelmed. And because of that, their feelings always leak out in small ways. So they might start stalking your social media, watching your stories without reacting, revisiting old photos, checking your profile late at night, quietly keeping tabs on your life, even while pretending they don't care. Because the idea of reaching out directly feels risky to them. So instead of showing up openly, they send signals. A random like on an old post, a strange comment that seems unnecessary, a message that looks casual on the surface like, hey, that movie we watched just came up somewhere. It reminded me of you. And that message might seem meaningless, but it usually isn't. Like most avoidants overthink even the smallest contact. They replay the wording, they hesitate, they fight the urge to reach out. And then they finally send something that feels safe enough to justify. And this is why they often pop up briefly and then disappear again. It's that push-pull cycle in action. Their emotions pull them towards you, but their fear pushes them back. And if you're not careful, you will fall right into the trap. You'll see those small signals and you'll start building a fantasy around them. You'll start waiting, hoping, overanalyzing. And the moment you do, you give them the one thing they want most: connection without accountability. So don't reward the breadcrumbs. Don't chase clarity. Don't rush in to make it easy for them. If they miss you, then let them feel it fully. Let them sit in the discomfort of your absence. Let them realize that access to you requires effort. Because if they truly want you back, then they'll have to stop hiding behind silence and start showing up like somebody who's serious. So this is where they're suddenly too busy, but never really gone. And it can really mess with your head. You start talking again and it seems like it might be heading somewhere, but every time you try to get together, they say they're just too busy to make it happen. Now you think they're blowing you off, and so you start focusing on yourself and mentally write them off. But just when you're really starting to move on, they pop back up and start trying to get your attention again. So what gives? Are they just bored? Are they trying to torture you? Well, no, this is actually a sign of interest from an avoidant. At least as much interest as they're capable of showing right now. It's that push-pull cycle they just can't seem to escape. They care about you, want you, need you, but that's as far as it goes. And soon as you start to reciprocate and show them that you feel the same way, they get scared. They retreat, and then they leave you carrying the conversation. And really, there's only one way to break the cycle. And it starts with understanding this. Their silence isn't your responsibility to fix. You're not here to explain away their silence and translate their messages. You're not here to save the relationship all on your own. Your job is to choose yourself over their silence. Your job is to keep away from them until they're willing to start giving more and taking less. I know they're in pain. I know you can sense the quiet grief behind their behavior, and you just want to hold them close and tell them it's all going to be okay. But until they have the courage to come forward and be with you, you can't let them have your attention. Because making shallow conversation, liking your posts, messaging you when they feel like it, these things may be signs of a connection, but they're not enough to sustain a relationship. When your avoidant ex starts to ask questions, it's intimidating. It can feel like if you don't give them the right answers, they'll disappear and leave you without even saying goodbye. But the truth is that this isn't a test. They're just genuinely curious about you. They've been thinking about you a lot, and because of everything that's changed since the breakup, they're wondering if you're still the same person they fell in love with. They want to know how you've changed, who you've been hanging out with, what you're feeling and what your plans for the future are, if you're moving on. And most pressing, they want to know if you're seeing anyone else. Now, we'll talk more about your ex's jealousy later on in the video, but just know that this is a good sign. But this is as close as they're willing to get right now. They're afraid to offer any information because they don't want to scare you away or let you get too close. They want to keep you around, but at arm's length so that you neither leave for good nor pose a risk to their time alone. So how should you answer the questions? Well, the truth is you should just be honest. Don't try to construct a whole new personality to please them. That's going to be obvious. But you also want to focus on the moves that you're making. If they can see that you're leveling up without them, that's going to scare them straight. They're going to see that if they don't make a move soon, you're going to be gone for good. And that can be enough to make them snap out of it and take you more seriously. So how can you be honest while also showing them that you're changing? Well, the answer here is that you have to actually change. Part of focusing on yourself and not your ex means putting effort into improving yourself and improving your own life. So, run that marathon, take that class, get the tattoo you've always wanted, but do it for you, not your ex. Really, the main mistake that you can make right now is to continue to answer all their questions when they won't do the same for you. They need to learn that this is a two-way street. They don't have a right to all of your information without offering updates of their own. Emotional availability is about showing up fully, honestly, and directly. And if they're not doing that, then they're not ready for you. And that is the hardest truth of all. You can't keep the door cracked open for somebody who's slammed it shut. You can't chase clarity from somebody who only offers confusion. And you can't beg from closure from somebody who runs from connection. So let them sit in their silence. Let them feel the absence that they created. Let them miss you like crazy, and let them do it alone. Act like you deserve a real relationship, and you'll both start to really believe it. If you love someone, then the thought of them moving on to a new relationship is going to be incredibly painful. So while your ex may pretend like they don't care about you, this is one of the ways that their love is going to be extremely obvious. And it's going to first come through the questions they ask you. So first, it's going to seem like curiosity or even just small talk. They'll want to know what you did on the weekend, who was there, if you had fun. Maybe they'll even focus on specific people. Who was that guy or girl in your Instagram story? Who are these new friends you've been hanging out with? And their questions might start to then seem more like judgments. So, you're hanging out with Brian now. Didn't he cheat on his last girlfriend? Or, didn't she just lose her job? Are you sure you want to surround yourself with people like that? They'll just become, cold and rude when you mention going out with your friends. Or they'll try to make you feel like the bad guy for moving on so soon after the breakup, for having fun while they're at home alone. And they're going to do all they can to disguise where it's coming from. They'll make it seem like concern or curiosity, but really that's not it at all. It's all jealousy. And this is the part where most people accidentally destroy their chances because they get defensive and start explaining themselves. Your ex can't stand the idea of you moving on and finding somebody new because they're still trapped by their feelings for you. If it were up to them, they'd keep you in this cycle forever, pining after them while they try and fail to get the courage to actually connect with you. So good thing it's not up to them. It's up to you. You're the one who gets to decide what happens next. You get to say, I'm not playing this game, and you get to walk away. You make them see that they've been letting their jealousy get the best of them and using it to manipulate you. And when you don't take the bait, your ex will be upset, and that's when they'll see how obsessed with you they've been. So, don't hide what you've been up to make them feel more comfortable, and don't put up with them shaming you for having fun. Even if you're seeing somebody new, you have no reason not to be honest with them if they ask you. Remember, they're choosing to stay away, and they have to face the consequences. Yes, they may get angry, but they're not really angry at you. They're angry at themselves. When avoidants think about telling you how they feel, they get a pit in their stomach and their tongue feels like it's tied in a knot. But while their feelings are going to remain unspoken, they'll often come out in their actions. Now, these gestures can be quite subtle and hard to spot, but if you know your ex, you know when they're sending out these kind of signals. If you're having trouble, think of how they showed you love in the relationship. Maybe they'd pick up your favorite coffee for you when you were having a bad day. Maybe they'd make time to listen to you when they know you need to vent. Maybe they'd give you that look that melted your heart. If your ex is continuing to make gestures like that, then you can bet that their feelings for you are very much alive. And if you want to turn those signals into a real comeback instead of a push-pull cycle, you need a plan. And if you're not sure what your next step is with your avoidant ex, I can help. Go to breakupbrad.com/plan after the video is over and just use my free custom plan tool for yourself. Just answer 13 simple questions and my algorithm will create a plan to help you win them back 100% free. Again, you can try it after the video at breakupbrad.com/plan. If you only take one thing from this video, let it be this. You're enough. An avoidant is going to make you feel like you're doing something wrong, like you're trying too hard, like you're too present, too loving, too caring. But this is just another way for them to shift the conversation so that they can avoid taking accountability and being vulnerable. Don't let them control the conversation and dictate your self-worth. The moment you stand up for yourself, stop accepting their crumbs, and start going after what you want is the moment that you start working towards a future together, one where they treat you the way you deserve. Thank you so much for watching, for liking this video and subscribing to my channel. And thank you for leaving me a comment letting me know where you're watching from. I'm always curious. And that's it for this one. Best of luck. See you next time.